All right. Good morning. This part is dedicated to the subject of tribulation saints, also known as people who come to salvation after the church is raptured. This concept was popularized by the movie, the Left Behind movie series, and by Hal Lindsey's late great Planet Earth. The reason why this concept was spawned was to deal with the problem of believers being seen in the Old and New Testament at the time of Antichrist. If the church is already supposed to be raptured, who are these people? Well, the answer comes back. These people are those people who came to salvation after the rapture of the church. You can reference Daniel 7:21 and 25, Revelation 6:11, Revelation 11:3, Revelation 13:7, Revelation 14:9 through 19, and Revelation 20 verse 4. All depict believers at the time of Antichrist. And what does Scripture say about people coming to salvation after the rapture of the church and the return of Jesus and the rapture of the church? So let's look at Matthew 25, 1 through 13. Matthew 25 is a parable that Jesus taught about his second coming. You see in context, these two chapters, 24 and 25, are answer to Matthew 24:3, when the apostles asked Jesus, what will be the sign of your coming and the end of the age? And so one of the things that this is Matthew 25, 1 through 13, is a parable. So the parable starts off, Matthew 25, 1 through 13, starts off with a story about 10 virgins. And the 10 virgins go out to meet a bridegroom. And the bridegroom, while they're waiting for the bridegroom, there were 5 wise virgins and 5 foolish. And the 5 foolish ones had to go out and buy more oil for their lamps. And while they were gone, the groom came for the bride, or for the 5 wise virgins, and took them to the marriage. This is a key verse. Verse 10 says that after they went, those that were ready went with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. And verse 11 says, after that, the other virgins came and knocked on the door and said, open to us. And the Lord said, go from me, for I never knew you. And verse 13 says, watch therefore, for you don't know the day or the hour when the Son of Man comes. That was the point. So we see that the groom is Jesus, and the virgins, the wise, are the church, and the unwise are unbelievers. And the marriage is the marriage supper of the Lamb. So this depicts the Jesus coming for the church and bringing them to the marriage supper of the Lamb, which is the rapture and the resurrection. And after that, the door is shut. There's no salvation after that. So that completely contradicts the concept of pre-tribulationists, that you can come to salvation after the rapture of the church. It surely proves it impossible, and that idea is false. You can also see it in Luke 13, verses 24 through 29, but especially 24 and 25 say that strive to enter into the straight gate, for many will seek to enter in and will not be able to. What's he mean? When once the master of the house is risen up and has shut the door, and you begin to stand outside and then knock at the door, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. And he shall answer to you, I do not know you. He casts them away. And again in verse 27 he says the same thing. He says they'll regret this being cast away, because there is no salvation after the master shuts the door. Same principle that was in Matthew 25. This is Luke 13, verse 25. 24 and 25. And there's one more verse, Luke 17, 26 through 30 speaks of the same thing. And what it says is, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Man. Okay? In Noah's time they did eat, drink, and married, and they had wives, and they were given in marriage until the day Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise also it was the same in the days of Lot. They did eat, drank, they bought and sold and planted and they built. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. The point being here is that when the door was shut on the ark and they entered into the ark, After that, people are probably outside banging, it starts raining. Hey, after the door was shut, there's no salvation. Same principle as Matthew 25. The same day, my translation says the same day that Lot left Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone and destroyed them all. And that was the main point, was after this opportunity has passed, there is no second opportunity for salvation after a rapture. So these texts, I'd ask you to go back and examine them closely, because these texts totally argue against the idea that somebody can come to salvation after the rapture of the church. This totally refutes the Left Behind movie series and the concept that there are tribulation saints. It's just not the case. And I think if you go through history, historical writings bear this out as well. So God bless you. Hope you find honesty in your research.